All right, listen here. Listen here. You gotta see this shit. It's great. Okay? You see this? This is my wife. You see her? You like that? You like that, goof? You want to do my wife, goof? Be my guest. I don't have a problem with it.
I said we would get to part 2 of Alex Jones being a sad, sad little boy, so that's exactly what we're going to do. But first, let's get into the fan art section. Now, the first one we have here is from Jet, and it's asking, what does purple taste like? So there's Jet's Blizzy-chan, which I just noticed. Blizzy-chan has one stray thing here, almost like a bra strap, but it doesn't exist on the other side, and it doesn't seem to exist up here. So this is just a one-strap bra that Blizzy-chan has. This is terrifying information. Oh wait, no, I see. Is the bra there? I guess. But what does purple taste like? Apparently Blizzy is eating my hair to figure out what purple tastes like. And then Nova is also taking my hair to figure out what it tastes like. And the only person who could possibly want more of my hair is right behind me, because y'all fuckers made the black hole behind me into a waifu. And there is no way around. There's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. I don't know if I could even call this being wholesome, but I'm just gonna say Black Hole Chan has MILF vibes. Just very strong MILF vibes. Anyways, the next one we have is from Axo that has cream. My take on Hole Chan, I'm actually really proud of the design, even though it's more of a fiery-ish than black hole-ish, and I love the floating arms so much. Y'all are having way too much fun with this concept, and I need to run very far away from it. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't subscribed or hit the bell notification icon, please do that. I need friends. I mean, but you know who also needs friends? Alex Jones. He really does. And realistically, the best way we can find out exactly how far down the rabbit hole of sadness and needing friends other than people like Milo Indianapolis that Alex is sitting in, well, it's us going into that muck ourselves. So this is part 2 of Alex Jones's text highlights, and we're going to see where he is sitting at in his conversations now with the Proud Boys. Alex Jones' texts reinforce how closely connected the InfoWars host is to members of the Proud Boys, the violent ultranationalist hate group that rose to prominence during the presidency of Donald Trump. Roger Stone, a flamboyant political activist and advisor to far-right politicians, has taken the Proud Boys oath and has used members of that hate group as part of his personal security detail. Stone, who, like Jones, pushed lies about the 2020 election in the run-up to the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, has repeatedly appeared on InfoWars as a guest for the last 8 years. In the messages Hate Watch received, Jones texts Stone a suggestive photo of his wife, dressed only in underwear. My guy! My guy! Why? Why would you do that?
All right, listen here. Listen here. You gotta see this shit. It's great. Okay? You see this? This is my wife. You see her? You like that? You like that, goof? You want to do my wife, goof? Be my guest. I don't have a problem with it.
Like, is that what's going on here? I don't know. I don't want to peer into somebody else's life that much, but I mean, we're literally reading his text, so I guess I am peering into his life that much. I don't know. But let's keep going. Let's see what we got here. Jones converses with several prominent Proud Boys in texts, including InfoWars contributor Joe Biggs, who is currently standing trial on charges of seditious conspiracy for his role in the pro-Trump insurrection. He texts Jacob Engels, a gay reactionary with close ties to Roger Stone, who harasses other men at Pride events, and Bobby Picarillo, who accompanied the group to a series of Stop the Steal rallies in Washington, D.C., including the one on January 6th. Jones also chats with Proud Boys founder Gavin McGinnis in the texts. The men work to build a career as a radical right influencer for Rex Jones's son. McInnes then records an interview with the then 17-year-old where he tells him that most women who report to being raped are lying. That sounds off. Generation X does not claim Alex Jones. You know, you'd hope that. Zach Drucker, who worked for Jones for 6 years and leaked video of him drinking vodka around the office, told Hate Watch in a phone conversation that former FBI informant and Proud Boys leader Enrique Terrio used InfoWars to build up the Proud Boys brand. Terrio does not appear in the texts, but he has popped up as an InfoWars guest many times over the years. In 2021, Reuters revealed that Terrio served as an informant for local and federal law enforcement for years before taking a leadership role with the Proud Boys. Enrique Terrio talked to Alex like he needed something out of him all the time, Drucker recalled to Hate Watch. I always thought that Enrique Terrio was an informant for the government the entire time, just because of his demeanor, the way that he projected himself, the way that he would be in conversation. He would always do these prepper conversations where he's just getting you in the narrative he wants to present before he starts talking to you. And I always found that to be manipulative. Yeah, that's... So, like, prepper conversations are there for when you're about to do a TV show or something. It's like, hey, Billy, I want you to think about it. Your wife has just been screwed by Alex Jones. And you are very upset about this information, but also somewhat aroused. I need you to be in that headspace whenever we go live together, okay? I want you to think about it. I want you to envision it. I want it to be on your mind that you are having the worst day and also confusingly most unique days of your life. And you just kind of like start the conversation out that way a couple minutes before the camera rolls so that you can start that. That's a fine conversation if you're trying to get somebody into a role play mood, you know, for a fucking camera. But if you're doing that for every conversation, then that seems weird and sussy. Drucker said the Proud Boys and Terrio stroked Jones' ego in order to access his InfoWars audience. Hate Watch attempted to reach a phone number associated with Terrio, but received no response. Part of me feels like everyone was using Alex for his notoriety. Enrique was trying to promote the Proud Boys through us, and it was definitely exploitative. Jones did not respond to multiple requests for comment sent by email and by text. He appears to have blocked the number of the Hate Watch reporter seeking comment. Oh dear. Anti-Pretzel, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. Imagine Alex Jones as the power cuck.
That's right. You do, my wife.
That's what I'm imagining. Oh, let's go ahead and scroll down here. Biggs, the Capitol rioter and accused seditionist, once served as an InfoWars reporter, and his texts with Jones underscore how close the InfoWars host is to people who engage in politically motivated violence. Jones would certainly know of Biggs' reputation. Drucker said Jones fired Biggs in 2017 due to comments he made on Twitter endorsing violence against women.
Call me old-fashioned, but something about clubbing a bitch over the back of the head before sex really sets the mood right.
Oh, that was from Biggs, not Jones. Why did I do that in Jones's voice? Drucker told Hate Watch that Biggs would casually endorse domestic violence in conversations with people at InfoWars. He couldn't keep talk of hitting women away. He couldn't stop talking about it or making it a vocal thing, because he's that terrible of a person. Drucker recalled that after Jones fired Biggs, Jones gradually started to work Biggs back into the air along with Terrio. The moment that Biggs got in with Enrico Terrio, everything changed. That was like 2018 or 19. All of a sudden, I saw Joe Biggs back on screen alongside Enrico Terrio and the Proud Boys, said Drucker. Jones and Biggs talked formally about reuniting through InfoWars in the text Hate Watch received, in addition to the talk of beating women. Biggs helped set up an event in Portland that drew street brawls between radical right-wing groups, including the Proud Boys and left-wing protesters in August of 2019. 1 month later, on September 12th, Jones nevertheless entertained reuniting with Biggs, as the text shows. Well, I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 shows a week to start off at a set rate, if that's something doable down the road. That would give me the opportunity to get sponsors and bring money in.
Let's talk about it.
Jones and Biggs also chat about COVID-19 on the night of March 21st, 2020, as the gravity of the moment appears to dawn on them. Gun sales have stopped. They're shutting it down nationwide.
Yeah.
Shit's getting real. Josh Owens, another former InfoWars employee who left the company in 2017, told Hate Watch that Jones separated from Biggs not because of his statements about women, but because of more superficial reasons. Apparently, Jones got angry after Biggs continuously promoted on InfoWars, a clothing company that he'd started on the side. Owens recalled over to text to Hate Watch, Biggs began receiving more attention in right-wing circles, creating a sense of competition, which I think Jones had a problem with. So it's just business. It's always just business. Ha. Agitating. Biggs is not the only Proud Boys member charged with sedition to find an audience on InfoWars. Ethan Nordian, a.k.a. Rufio Panman, boosted his profile through interviews with Alex Jones. Viral video of Nordian punching an anti-fascist protester on the face served as a recruitment tool for the Proud Boys in 2018. Hate Watch reached out to Biggs by phone, but did not receive a response. Drucker, who worked with Jones as he elevated Proud Boys propaganda and stayed with his company until 2022, told Hate Watch that he felt surprised to see Joe Biggs return to InfoWars as a guest after the firing. Said the whole script flipped, Drucker said. Biggs went from being persona non grata to sitting in front of like three-wheeled supercar in Enrico Terrio's driveway in Florida, and all of a sudden, everyone's buddy-buddy. I also think that's where Roger Stone and the dude Jacob Engels are tied to it. Roger Stone for Big Brother, who is always watching our communications. Let's see here. Jones initiates a conversation with Stone on the morning of January 23rd, 2020, by sending him a link to a story about a development in Stone's trial for lying to Congress, obstruction, and witness tampering. Judge Amy Berman Jackson sentenced Stone to 40 months in federal prison and levied a $20,000 fine for his crimes in February 20th of 2020. Hate Watch reached out to Stone for comment, but of course received no response. I feel like I'm just going to stop reading out the parts where it says that Hate Watch reached out for comment, because you know that by and large, the person's not going to comment back. Like, you just kind of know that's what's going to happen. Following a vocal campaign from radical right-wing influencers, the President Trump commuted Stone's sentence in July 2020, just before former Richard Nixon advisor was participated. Wow, I can't read. Just before the former Richard Nixon advisor was anticipated to start his prison sentence. Trump issued Stone a full pardon on December 23rd, at a time when both men pushed lies about a stolen election. Alex to Roger Stone, hope you are well. You have no idea how much I miss you and your crew. Everything you have said will come to pass. In the short term, Tyler Nixon is available. You can talk all you want about my plight on your own volition, but you can never say, Roger said, or Roger told me. By the way, I love the tank. Oh, this is when Alex Jones had, like, that armored truck that he was just kind of driving around Texas in. That was cringy. That was really cringy. I remember a friend of mine sending me the actual, like, sending me video of him with his girlfriend at a restaurant, and Alex Jones was in that pseudo tank thing just across the street yelling with a megaphone. And he's just like, wow, this is a day. Stone's reference to a tank likely refers to the armored vehicle Jones sometimes drives to events. When Jones has driven the tank to events in recent years, footage of it has gone viral on social media. Jones drove his tank to a pro-gun rally in 2020, 3 days before Stone referenced it in the texts. Stone then messages Jones suggesting that Big Brother was watching their texts. So, just to be clear, for Big Brother, who is always watching our communications, is off the record, and I am not directing or suggesting that you say, do, or post anything, in any decisions you make in that regard are completely your own volition. On a personal basis, needless to say, I appreciate your support.
I understand. Thanks.
A minute later, Jones sends the sexually suggestive photo of his wife to Stone. Stone does not respond to him. Jones picks up the thread again 3 weeks later in February 13th, 2020, and appears to imply that he wants Stone to return as an InfoWars contributor.
It's clear that you're getting a pardon. We need to start talking about you getting your old job back.
In August 2022, several news outlets, including The Guardian, The Independent, and The Insider, reported that Jones sent a nude photo of Erica Wolf to Stone, which did not technically happen, as far as Hate Watch could tell from the texts. The Daily Beast reported that during an InfoWars broadcast, Jones confirmed the nude photo, but also denied that there were photos of his own genitalia in the text message cache. Jones nevertheless played into the idea of Erica Wolf Jones being naked.
Sorry, I mean, there was a photo of my wife, of her, naked. Okay, they got that. So my wife looks pretty good. The point is, there is one naked picture of my wife in there. So that's what they got. No dick pics, though. No nothing.
Jones describes a federal judge. Let's see here. Jones messages Stone on February 14th, 2020, asking him if he plans on attending the upcoming Conservative Political Action Conference. Then he transitions to disparaging the judge in Stone's case.
You guys should not be running scared, telling that judge. You should be telling that judge to fuck off. That bitch is on the ropes.
Jones sends a series of 3 messages then to Stone on February 19th on the eve of his sentencing. Each message is marked with a red exclamation mark suggesting that they failed to receive.
Good luck.
Shamrock emoji.
Tomorrow, you are a winner, the man in the arena.
Jackson sentenced Stone to 40 months in federal prison the next day and issued him a $20,000 fine for his crimes. Trump then committed Stone's sentence and issued him the full pardon. Okay, so it's kind of funny the amount of like boisterous amount of, hey, you're definitely getting your pardon, you're definitely safe, you're definitely scotch-free, and then that wasn't the case. And then but you know, of course, even after getting sentencing, Trump's still like, actually, yeah, screw the justice system. The justice system doesn't matter. Okay, let's keep going here. Jones chats with other Proud Boys about Judge Jackson in the text. He lists Bobby Pickles Picarillo in his phone number under the name T Guy Roger, which appears to reference Picarillo's marketing of T-shirts and a connection to Stone. On the afternoon of March 4th, 2020, Picarillo sends Jones a photo of a black t-shirt with Jackson's face on it. The words "Dirty Judge Amy Berman Jackson" are printed around her picture. 3 weeks later, Picarillo sends 3 photos of a t-shirt design with a caricature of Bernie Sanders on it. The words, "Please, throw me from a helicopter," are printed around Sanders' face, which, you know, is a reference to the Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, who killed some of his political opponents by throwing them out of helicopters. That's... Can you imagine doing that? Can you imagine just printing t-shirts of political people who you don't like and just being like, aha, please, sewer slide me? That's definitely going maybe a bit too far. Maybe just a smidge. Maybe just, you know, a lot. Engels, an openly gay reactionary, sends Jones a link to a post he authored on the far-right junk news website Gateway Pundit. The post focuses on Jones confronting Judge Jackson in the streets of D.C. Engels calls Jackson the demonic judge in the body of the Gateway Pundit post. Engels texts Jones a few times about Jackson in advance of publishing the post about her. He says that he wants to rip that judge bad. When reached for comment, Engels denied any official association with the Proud Boys. About his friendship with Roger Stone, he said that Roger Stone has been beaten down time and again and keeps getting back up. That is remarkable and an admirable trait in any human being. Engels addressed revelations about Alex Jones's personal life that appeared in part 1 of the series, saying, "I don't think there's anything wrong with being a red-blooded American male. That's what Alex is." About how he navigates the far right as a gay man, Engels said, "I try to live my life very quietly when it comes to my sexuality. I try to keep that to myself and not hoist that upon others." So why do these guys hate Bernie Sanders? Because they see Bernie as a communist, and they see communists as subhuman. And so any opportunity they have to disparage or otherwise convince people to hate somebody who they think, or at least claim, is a communist, they will take. Pretty much always. Let's see. Gavin McInnes appears to have taken mentorship with roles with Alex Jones's son. Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes initiated Alex Jones into the hate group sometime in 2018, based upon when clips of the incident surfaced on YouTube. McInnes is a regular guest of InfoWars, and the pair continue to collaborate today. Hate Watch reached out to McInnes for comment. We already know what happened there. McInnes and Jones exchanged messages on December 14th, 2019, about setting up a regular spot for Jones's son, Rex Jones, on McInnes' website. That appears to have never happened. Rex Jones, who had been an on-camera performer at InfoWars since at least 2015, when he was just 12 years old, appeared on McInnes' website in 2019. He had just turned 17 at the time, and his father spoke with McInnes about him in the text. So can I just say real quick, isn't it weird that people talk about how kids should be allowed to live their own lives and not have to deal with politics and all this other bullshit that they throw at the left all the fucking time? And yet, when we see stuff like this, we see a situation where the exact same shit is what they're doing with their kids all the time, which is just... Isn't hypocrisy great? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it lovely? Gavin says to Alex Jones, "Got your message. Sounds good. One issue. We have Loomer and a couple of other shows coming at the same time as Rex. In order to differentiate who's bringing what, we should attach a code to each show. So sign up now and use code REX for 10% off. That way we have an exact number of people who signed up for Rex's show." Loomer refers to racist anti-Muslim internet performer Laura Loomer. McInnes appeared on an obscure internet talk show hosted by Rex Jones after he sent that text. Rex Jones talks about battling an addiction to pornography in it, and his father disparages pornography on InfoWars and also shares links to explicit sites in the text that Hate Watch reviewed. Hate Watch tried 3 different phone numbers associated with Rex Jones, but none of the numbers were in service. He says, "I had a problem. I really did. I quit. That shit is addictive, and it ruins your social life." That's one thing that I don't understand. How does porn ruin your social life? Like, do you just sit there, like, in the middle of a group of your friends, and you're just like, "Hey, guys, how are you doing?" Like, is that what's happening? Is that how porn ruins your social life? You can't help but just kind of yank it whenever you're out and about with your guy friends? Is that what happens? Because I don't see how that ruins your life unless you're literally out talking with your friends and then you're just like, "Hey guys, hold on, gotta go to the bathroom real quick, need to rub one out." Like, if it's all you talk about, then yeah, you got an addiction. But I mean, what are you sitting there in the middle of a conversation just going, "Yeah, no, I watched like 15 videos from Hitomi Tanaka that day. Oh man." Like, is that what you do? I don't know. It feels really easy to keep that shit to yourself. I said I can understand liking porn too much. I don't understand porn addiction. Well, I can understand porn addiction. I can understand being addicted to pornography. I can understand that. Like all addictions, there is a huge psychological aspect to it. What I don't understand is the mechanics in which that would ruin your social life, unless you are literally just sitting at home trying desperately to rub one out every single time that your little wanker is able to actually manage to go again. But I mean, at a certain point you start firing blanks. Maybe that's the time to go to Buffalo Wild Wings with your friends when the blanks start firing. I don't know. Rex Jones then turns the conversation to what he describes as false rape accusations. McInnes, who has a history of promoting male supremacist and virulently misogynist worldviews to young men, then tells the boy that women fabricate rape accusations in the clip. So while it is true that some women do fake rape accusations, I have seen that happen, but it does not mean that all or even most do that. Said, "Being my age, anyone 21 to 15 will understand the problem. We live in Fallujah. We live in a war zone. You have to be so careful now. With all the false rape accusations, there's no punishment for it." Said, "The word rape has been ruined," McInnes explains to the teenager. "Rape used to mean there's a guy in a ski mask and he jumps out of the bushes and has a knife and he put his penis to you. Now it can be a year later. I decided I didn't enjoy that." So there actually is some truth to that statement. There are, and again, this is something that I would not be saying if I had not seen this myself, but there are instances where people consent to sex during, before, and even after, and then a few days or even a few weeks after go, "Actually, I didn't want that. Actually, I didn't consent." There certainly is some truth to that statement, and I think addressing that probably an important thing for us to do, because if we just kind of pretend that that never happens, then people like McInnes get to win. Because then we, on the left, sound like we're lying. We sound like we're gaslighting people about reality, even though this is a reality that I know people have experienced. This is a thing I know people have gone through. McInnes tells an anecdote about the point of view of a New York City police officer, claiming that the overwhelming majority of women invent their accusations against men because they are mad at them. Repeatedly, studies show the opposite is true and that such cases are rare. Again, the cases exist. Doesn't mean they happen often. But McInnes would rather live... If you... Okay. If you think that most women are faking rape accusations, then I have to wonder how many people you know have had rape accusations levied against them. And if you know a lot of people with rape accusations levied against them, maybe you know the wrong people. I don't know. Maybe that's just... It feels like it's not rocket science, right? Like, it feels like that's a pretty basic thing. Oh no, everybody I hang out with has girls claiming that these things are happening. Maybe the crowd I'm hanging around ain't too great. maybe their shit stinks just a little bit. McInnes says, I'm not saying this is a fact or a pattern. It's just what one cop told me. What I do with these girls is I would sort of sit them alone, and I'd say, look, here's the deal. If the guy raped you, then this is what I'm here for. This is what I signed up to do to be a cop. We don't want women getting raped, so we throw them in jail. But if he didn't rape you, I want you to know that's illegal. You would be committing a crime, and you're about to put a man in a cage for something he didn't do. I want you to think really hard about your next move, because if he's guilty, we are going to punish him. But if he's not guilty... and you say he is, we could be ruining a man's life. And so this sounds like power reassurance. Yeah, it ends up being slander or libel, depending on if you wrote it down. McInnes continues citing his fake statistic. You know what he said to me? He said 95% of the time the girls just say, you know what, fuck it, I was just mad. So, that statistic, the cop... I could even grant that the cop actually said that statistic. If the cop said that statistic, though, you know what that doesn't imply? It doesn't imply that the women were lying or not. You don't know that factor. You don't know how many people have decided that, well, actually, it's better for them not to try to say anything about their partner they might have, or somebody who might be financially supporting them. There are plenty of situations where a woman is actually raped, is actually assaulted, and they will do everything in their power to not prosecute, to not put charges down, to not do anything about the assailant, because it is just simpler for them if they don't. It is just easier. It is less traumatic if they don't. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's how we should be operating, but it's a thing that happens. There are victims who will defend their abusers. Even if the cop is right, and even if the thing he's experiencing is true, that doesn't say anything about the likelihood of what those women are saying is true. 95%, McInnes says, citing the false accusation again. How many guys are in jail right now? Look, I know domestic abuse exists, and maybe I'm too middle class, but I've never come across it in my life or known anyone who has said, where the fuck's my dinner, bitch? Yeah, no, I know people who have had that happen. I know people who have been in domestic violence situations. Maybe you should, talk with victims. Maybe you should try to find somebody who's a victim and talk with them, make friends with them. Who knows? Maybe you'll learn something. While false sexual reports are rare, police dismissing legitimate reports is extremely common. In one high-profile case, police in Linewood, Washington, even pressured a young woman into recanting her report of a violent break-in and sexual assault, then charged her for filing a false report. Years later, 2 detectives caught the perpetrator, who was a serial rapist. In the text, McInnes appears to respond to a disagreement with the elder Jones that is never explained. He sent the following message in January of 2020. Hey man, let's not throw this all away because a kid made a silly mistake. We can build a media empire together. There will be hiccups, and they won't thwart us. Jones apparently ignored McInnes. Instead, Jones begins texting with a source claiming to have information on James Alefantis, the owner of Washington, D.C. pizza restaurant that was the center of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory. In 2017, Jones had to apologize to Alefantis for using his show to spread false rumors, and that the restaurant was a front for child sex trafficking operations run by the Democratic Party. Jones issued the apology on the same day a North Carolina man, Edgar Madison, pleaded guilty to illegally transferring firearms over state lines and assault with a dangerous weapon after entering the pizza restaurant with an AR-15 in order to self-investigate the false rumors that he promoted. So, Alex, I think we're in a place to drop those Alefantis messages within the context of a story that contextualizes them. Within context of context. That's a poor writing. Jones replies,
"Let's talk tomorrow."
Rex Jones's career as a radical right influencer never took off. Drucker, the former InfoWars employee, told Hate Watch that Rex Jones stopped appearing on InfoWars in 2020 at the end of a constant fight with his father. "I think Alex Jones is too large for anyone to be his successor," Drucker said of how Jones is trying to bring his son into the business. "There's no one in that place that could be Alex Jones's successor in Alex Jones's mind." Oh my god, I didn't realize there was going to be a part 3. No! There's a part 3, and it just dropped today. Okay, well, looks like we'll be going into part 3 in another episode, but for now, let's go ahead and contextualize what we've got here. While part 1 seemed to be a deep dive into the terrible mental state that Alex Jones had found himself in after all of the garbage that he had done to tons of people, his wife, to himself, to his employees, part 2 is mostly about the ways in which he's affiliated with the Proud Boys, who we know are a violent far-right group. The next one seems to be about Alex Jones urging Joe Rogan to host a rape apologist, and that rape apologist is Andrew Tate. So that's what we have coming up in part 3. Hope you guys are ready for that. Friedmonic, thank you for redeeming your points for an hada hada, you fucking degen. That's okay. I didn't want the saga to continue, but I guess the saga's continuing. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and let me know in the comments section below. Hit the like button. If you got comments, please let me know down there. I do read all the comments on YouTube, even if I don't necessarily respond to all of them. But, with that all said, as always, everybody, insert end video tagline here.